The air in Lahore's cramped alleys seemed heavier in those early 1990s, almost as if hiding the anguished whispers of vanished children. Javed Iqbal Umair, a seemingly unremarkable man in his 40s, moved through the city like any other neighbor, polite, soft-spoken, even charitable at times, but beneath that benign mask lay a monster. Over months, he abducted helpless boys aged 6 to 16, lured by kindness or simple promises of sweets. Once in his basement, he executed a horrifying method: strangulation, dismemberment, and then dissolution of those innocent bodies in vats of acid he'd prepared in advance. Police initially found no missing persons linked to him. They were too frightened to speak out or too ashamed to search. It was only after Javed himself turned himself in that the full scale of his confession emerged. "I killed 100, he claimed matter-of-factly. Investigators recovering his basement discovered haunting evidence. Photographs of boys accompanied by numbered placards, acid-eroded remains, a meticulous death log. In online forums, someone wrote, "Iqbal strangled the victims, dismembered the corpses and dissolved them in acid." A description so gut-wrenching it made viewers recoil. Yet for some, that macabre evidence fueled obsessive interest. What kind of mind could meritoriously erase a child's existence one by one, like chapters burned from a story? As we unpack his confession, we consider whether he truly reached 100. The jury remains out, but the photos of 50 skeletons and the acid-blackened vats offer horrifying confirmation. Amid the shock, the internet debates. Was he a lone predator, or part of a network exploiting the marginalized? Was he encouraged to document his crimes? Every nuance dissected, every rumor aired, sending chills through comment sections long after the clicks fade. We now confront his downfall and wider ramifications. Javed pleaded guilty in court. His death sentence was handed down swiftly. But justice stumbled. While the state prepared his execution, news broke that he committed suicide in jail before the sentence could be carried out, either stolen by remorse or by fear of exposure of deeper corruption. In Reddit threads, a user mused, "Confessed to 100 murders, one makeshift square encouraging threatening selective numerous psychotic vast meeting," highlighting how even digital spaces struggle to articulate the scale of his atrocities. His suicide ended public spectacle, but unleashed a torrent of scrutiny. Why did no parents report missing sons? How many disappeared into silence? This case dragged Pakistan's failings into the light. Poverty-stricken families, corrupt investigators, broken social systems left children vulnerable. In our narration, the tempo shifts. Soft piano chords overlay courtroom footage. Voices tremble with grief as we relay statements from police, family members, human rights activists, decrying how systemic negligence allowed a predator to hunt unchallenged. Then we pivot to reflection. What drives curiosity toward such abominations? Is it morbid fascination or a collective desperado to prevent recurrence? We end with a haunting question. Even as Javed is gone, his basement of horror, the story of 100 children lost, still echoes. How do we repair a society when its most vulnerable vanished without trace? As the music dims, we challenge the listener. Bear witness, speak out. Never let silence become a serial killer's ally again. What haunts investigators and viewers alike isn't just the number, but the psychology that allowed Javed Iqbal to operate with such composure. There were no frantic outbursts, no erratic behavior, no pleading, only eerie precision and unnerving calm. He documented every murder like it was a ritual, taking down names, dates, and methods with the cold efficiency of a clock balancing a ledger. He even sent a letter to authorities and media before his arrest, openly confessing to his crimes and explaining that he wanted to show how easily someone could carry out such horror unnoticed in a corrupt, indifferent system. That letter, written in perfect Urdu, wasn't just a confession, it was a statement, a manifesto of malice. He blamed society, police incompetence, and child neglect, painting himself as both executioner and messenger. Some experts argue he was not only a murderer, but a narcissist trying to control his legacy, framing his atrocities as a form of retribution. Others saw in his writings a twisted desire for immortality, the kind of infamy that makes monsters legends. The media frenzy that followed only added fuel, with every newspaper splash and televised headline giving him the spotlight he likely craved. And in that spotlight, the real horror emerged. Not just one man's evil, but a societal failure so complete that it allowed his evil to flourish for years. Even now, decades later, Javed Iqbal's name casts a long, dark shadow over Pakistan's justice system. Whenever a child goes missing, there's a whispered echo, "Not again, not like him." His house, where the murders took place, was demolished years ago, but locals still avoid walking past its location. Some say they hear faint cries at night. Others claim a lingering smell of acid in the air. Urban legend? Trauma? Preserved in folklore? Perhaps. But the psychological scar remains. On social media and YouTube, new generations discover his story and recoil, yet can't look away. Some creators theorize he didn't act alone, that higher powers were involved, protecting him for reasons still unknown. These conspiracies thrive because unanswered questions remain. How did he dispose of bodies so systematically without help? How did no one, not a single neighbor, ever report strange activity? There's even talk that some of the children weren't random, but specifically targeted based on things they had seen, things they weren't supposed to. We may never know the full truth. Iqbal took it with him to his grave. But what we do know is this. The case of Javed Iqbal isn't just a story about a killer. It's about the consequences of silence, the cost of apathy, and the darkness that festers when the world refuses to look closely. This isn't just history, it's a warning.